Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, it's time to get loose. Double Loose Juice is a 10% double IPA from Transient Artisan Ales in Bridgman, Michigan. You know, it doesn't feel like too long ago that I'd only be able to pick up transient beer at one or two different stores here on the east side of the state. Now it's a veritable explosion of options, and I, for one, welcome the change. Their Juice's Juice from last year just narrowly missed out on my top 10 of 2021 Michigan beers, so I do have some expectations going into this beer, you know, but I'm not going to let it get the better of me. Let's take a look at the label. We'll get it into a glass. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Vinny Cat, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks available only to patrons. Let's take a look at the label. We will start off with talking about the color here. I don't know if Transient has a juice series, but I would consider this as part of the juice series. Like I said, Juice is Juice. We have the Juices Loose. This is Double Loose Juice. On the top of the label, it says Transient Artisan Ales. On the side, it says Double Loose Juice, a double India Pale Ale, 10% alcohol by volume. As you can see, it's got this kind of brownish red color in the background, like a maroon. And then on top of that is a red splash on both the left and the right. Again, very reminiscent of the Juices Loose and the Juices Juice, like I already said. And then on the other side of the label, it has the government warning, which tells you don't drink this if you're pregnant, if you plan on operating a vehicle or any of that stuff. I was going to say good stuff. That's not good stuff to drink and do all that stuff. And then underneath that, in small print, it says brewed in Bridgman, Michigan, and the Michigan deposit, 10 cents. There is no, there's no dating or anything on this can. I picked this up maybe about 2 weeks ago. I don't think that Transient puts dates on their labels. At least I can't recall them doing that. Even on the Transient beer I just recently reviewed, which was Only I Didn't Say Fudge, which was a stout, no date on that label either. So we're going to go ahead and crack this. We're going to put a nose on the can like we do. And, all right. Sometimes I like to look at the top. They can be kind of milky looking sometimes. This one doesn't look too out of the ordinary, but the aroma, a flowery kind of citrus aroma, like a pithy orange. That's what I'm picking up on the nose. Let's go ahead and pour this. It's coming out a little bit of a murky yellow out of the can. We're going to get a little bit more aggressive on that pour to let some of that gas kind of release, some of that aroma waft out of there. And I'm looking at about 3 fingers, 2.5 fingers of head, almost 3, just slightly shy of 3 fingers. As you can see, the head from overhead, it is a little bit, it looks pretty white, but it does look a little bit on the yellow side. And again, I don't know if that's from the beer, like the color of the beer kind of shining up through the head. But if we hold it up to the light here, that is extremely hazy. I've kind of changed, as you may have noticed, I've changed my light setup. It looks, I can just see shadows of my finger through it. It looks very hazy on the top here. To me, it looks very orangey. To you, it looks a little bit more like orange juice. And on the bottom, it kind of thins out a little bit. I do see faint little particles or little bubbles rising up from the bottom. The head is still sticking around like a champ. I'm saying about 2.5 fingers right now. It's a nice puffy, kind of cloudy looking head. Put a nose on the glass. Yeah, more of that kind of citrusy, flowery, floral aroma. It almost has like, it's that citrusy note, but it almost has, like I said, when I say flowery, I mean floral, but also like flour, like the baking powder. I don't know what else to call that. I guess it's ground wheat. Let's go ahead and try it out. Cheers. So as we do here, we talk about the mouthfeel first, because that's really the first thing you kind of notice. It has that nice soft mouthfeel, very pillowy, very soft, very just kind of pillowy, you know, it just kind of sits on your tongue. It's not light, it's not super heavy, it's kind of just like right in the middle for this style, for this, you know, they say double IPA, you go into a Transient IPA, pretty much, unless it says West Coast on it, you gotta think it's probably gonna be like that New England kind of style. This just sits dead center in that New England style. It's very much what you would expect. 10%, you know, nice kind of fluffy mouthfeel. Let's talk about the flavor here. It kind of just through and through is orange, like orange juicy, very much like the Juice's Juice, like I talked about from last year. That one was very orangey too. There's a lot of orange coming through, just really orange just throughout the entire flavor. There isn't much bitterness. Like, it's very sweet orange at the beginning. It just fades and pulls back. There is a little bit of a floral note that kind of hangs around on the aftertaste. There's a bit of a candied, maybe a candied pineapple in there as well. A little bit of a tropical kind of note. So whereas I remember Juice's Juice being very orangey, I think my phrasing for the whole kind of experience was just orange, 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 orange. This has a lot of that orange, but it also has that candied pineapple. Again, a big flavor that I've noticed in the last year or so of New England style IPAs, or these kind of IPA styles like this, is that is that pineapple note. This is a bit of a candied kind of pineapple. There is, again, a little bit of a floral note. There is not much bitterness. It's very smooth. It doesn't taste like 10% at all. Very dangerous. As I'm talking now, I do pick up maybe there's a slight like floral, citrusy kind of bitterness in there, but it's very faint. It's very much in the background. My one knock on Juice's Juice, I keep comparing them because they are very similar, and they do seem to be in the same kind of line because the labels are very similar. Just kind of a palette swap, right? If you're familiar with, like, you know, Mortal Kombat, that's the most famous palette swap of all time. The label's very much a palette swap. My knock against Juice's Juice, which was the second one, is that the aroma, the nose, was just kind of off-putting. It wasn't very appetizing. It wasn't like super enticing. This, I think they've kind of cured that. Again, I'm getting big orange notes on it. I am getting a little bit of a floral note. Like I said, a bit of a flower, like ground wheat. It's a lot better. A big improvement over last year's aroma. And yeah, I mean, they continue this whole juice line. I think for a period of time, there was a bit of a consistency issue with some of the juices loose. I think they've kind of hammered out any kind of issues that they had on that. If you are a New England style IPA fan, if you're looking for a double IPA and you're not getting what you want out of some of those others that are out there, I think that this is a great addition to it. If you are kind of burnt out on the style, this is a little bit different. It's still very similar to a lot of other beers out there, so it doesn't really push itself out there to change anything. It's just a really satisfying, really just, you know, overall good beer. It's not going to throw you any curveballs. It's not going to be any big surprises, but it's really good for what it is. Very dangerous. Again, 10%. Don't taste any of that, and there really is no bitterness to speak of. So if you know somebody that likes the style, but they don't like bitter New England style IPAs, if that's even a thing, this on the bitterness scale, I would say it's like out of 5, I would give it like a 2. It's very low, very minimal. It's a really good example of style, but it's not really setting itself apart from anything. But you don't have to always, you don't always have to raise the bar to put out a great beer. And this one is a good beer nonetheless. All right, friends, that has been Double Loose Juice from Transient Artisan Ales. Have you had this one before? Or do you have a favorite Transient beers? Do you like their New England styles? Do you like their stouts? Is there anything that you think they do better than any other thing? Let me know in the comments down below while you're down there. If you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. If you're not subscribed and getting notifications, you might pick up a beer that you hated. But if you listened to me talk about it, you might have known to avoid it. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries. These guys are in Bridgman, Michigan, all the way on the west side of the state. And until next time, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers.